Chapter 1: The Arrival. In the small, quaint village of Harrow's End, there was an old, sprawling mansion known as Willow Manor. The mansion had a long history, filled with tales of grandeur, mystery, and even ghostly apparitions. For years, it had stood empty, its once magnificent gardens overgrown and its windows dark and foreboding. 16-year-old Alice and her family moved to Harrow's End when her father inherited the manor from a distant relative. They saw it as an opportunity to start anew, to restore the old house to its former glory. Alice, a curious and adventurous girl, was both excited and apprehensive about living in such a mysterious place. As they approached Willow Manor for the first time, Alice couldn't help but feel a chill run down her spine. The mansion loomed before them, its dark, weathered exterior casting long shadows across the overgrown lawn. Her father, Mr. Thompson, was optimistic, talking about all the renovations they would do, while her mother, Mrs. Thompson, remained quiet, a look of unease on her face. Alice's younger brother, Timmy, clung to her side. "Do you think it's really haunted?" he whispered, his eyes wide with fear. Alice ruffled his hair, trying to be brave for his sake. "Ghosts aren't real, Timmy. It's just an old house. There's nothing to be afraid of." Chapter 2: The Unseen Presence. The first few days at Willow Manor were busy with unpacking and settling in. Alice explored every nook and cranny of the mansion, fascinated by its history and architecture. She found old portraits, dusty furniture, and even a hidden staircase leading to a small attic room filled with forgotten treasures. One evening, as she was exploring the attic, she found an old diary hidden inside a dusty chest. The diary belonged to a girl named Evelyn, who had lived in the manor over 100 years ago. Intrigued, Alice began to read, immersing herself in Evelyn's world. Evelyn wrote about her life at Willow Manor, her family, and the joys and sorrows she experienced. But as Alice read further, she discovered that Evelyn had died under mysterious circumstances, and her spirit was said to haunt the manor, seeking justice for her untimely death. That night, Alice had trouble sleeping. She tossed and turned, haunted by the words she had read. Just as she was drifting off to sleep, she heard a faint whisper. "Help me." Alice sat up, her heart pounding. She looked around her room, but there was no one there. She tried to tell herself it was just her imagination, but deep down, she knew there was something more to it. Chapter 3: The First Encounter. The next day, Alice decided to investigate further. She explored the manor, looking for any clues about Evelyn's death. In the library, she found old newspaper clippings and letters that hinted at a scandal involving Evelyn's family. It seemed that Evelyn's father had been accused of embezzlement, and there were rumors of foul play surrounding her death. As she pieced together the story, Alice felt a presence in the room. She turned around and saw a faint, ghostly figure standing by the window. It was a young girl, dressed in an old-fashioned gown, her eyes filled with sadness. "Evelyn?" Alice whispered, her voice trembling. The ghost nodded slowly. "Help me, Alice," she said, her voice barely audible. "I need to find the truth." Alice's fear was replaced by a determination to help Evelyn. She promised the ghost that she would uncover the truth and bring justice to her memory. Chapter 4: The Hidden Clues. Over the next few days, Alice delved deeper into the history of Willow Manor. She spent hours in the library, poring over old documents and records. She discovered that Evelyn's father, Mr. Harrington, had been a respected businessman, but his reputation had been tarnished by accusations of embezzlement and fraud. Alice also found letters between Mr. Harrington and a mysterious figure named Mr. Blackwood, who had been a close associate. The letters hinted at a secret business deal that had gone wrong, leading to the downfall of the Harrington family. Determined to learn more, Alice decided to explore the hidden passages and secret rooms of the manor. She found a concealed door in the library that led to a small study. Inside, she discovered more letters and a locked drawer in the desk. Using a hairpin, Alice managed to pick the lock and open the drawer. Inside, she found a bundle of letters and a journal belonging to Mr. Harrington. The journal detailed his business dealings and revealed that Mr. Blackwood had betrayed him, framing him for embezzlement and ruining his reputation. The journal also mentioned Evelyn's death, suggesting that she had discovered the truth about Mr. Blackwood's betrayal and had been silenced to keep the secret hidden. Chapter 5: Confronting the Past. Armed with the new information, Alice felt a renewed sense of purpose. She needed to find evidence to prove Mr. Harrington's innocence and expose Mr. Blackwood's treachery. She decided to confront Mr. Blackwood's descendants, who still lived in the nearby town. Alice and her friend, Emily, who had become intrigued by the mystery, visited the Blackwood estate. They posed as history enthusiasts interested in the town's past, hoping to gain access to any old records or documents. To their surprise, Mr. Blackwood's great-grandson, Henry, was welcoming and eager to help. He showed them around the estate and allowed them to search through the old family archives. In the archives, Alice and Emily found letters and documents that confirmed Mr. Harrington's innocence. They discovered evidence that Mr. Blackwood had orchestrated the embezzlement scheme and framed Mr. Harrington to cover his tracks. With the evidence in hand, Alice and Emily returned to Willow Manor. Alice knew she needed to present the findings to the authorities to clear Mr. Harrington's name and bring justice to Evelyn. Chapter 6: Unveiling the Truth. Alice contacted the local historian, Mr. Thompson, who was fascinated by the story and agreed to help. Together, they compiled the evidence and presented it to the town council. The council members were shocked by the revelations and agreed to reinvestigate the case. The new investigation led to a public exoneration of Mr. Harrington's name. The town acknowledged the wrongful accusations and the true culprit behind the embezzlement. Mr. Blackwood's reputation was tarnished, and the Harrington family's honor was restored. Evelyn's spirit appeared to Alice one last time, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, Alice. You've given me the justice I've longed for. Now I can rest in peace." Alice felt a sense of fulfillment and peace. She had helped Evelyn find closure and uncovered the truth behind a century-old mystery. Chapter 7: Restoring Willow Manor. With the mystery solved and Evelyn's spirit at peace, Alice and her family focused on restoring Willow Manor. The townspeople, inspired by Alice's dedication and bravery, offered their help. Together, they cleaned, repaired, and refurbished the old mansion, bringing it back to its former glory. The manor became a symbol of the town's history and resilience. It was open to the public as a museum, showcasing the rich heritage of Harrow's End and the story of the Harrington family. Alice's parents were proud of her for uncovering the truth and bringing justice to Evelyn. They saw how much she had grown through the experience, becoming more confident and determined. Chapter 8: A New Beginning. Life at Willow Manor settled into a new, harmonious rhythm. The mansion, now a bustling museum, attracted visitors from near and far. Alice found joy in sharing the history of the manor and the story of Evelyn's spirit with the guests. She had discovered a passion for history and storytelling, inspired by her own adventure. Alice's friendship with Emily grew stronger, and together they explored other mysteries and stories within Harrow's End. They became known as the town's young detectives, always eager to uncover the past and bring hidden stories to light. Timmy, too, found a sense of adventure, inspired by his sister's bravery. He often joined Alice and Emily on their explorations, learning about history and the importance of truth and justice. The community of Harrow's End thrived, united by the shared experience of restoring Willow Manor and honoring its history. The manor stood as a reminder of the past, a symbol of resilience, and a beacon of hope for the future. Epilogue: The Legacy of Willow Manor. Years later, Alice stood in front of Willow Manor, now a renowned historical landmark. She reflected on the journey that had begun with a whisper and a ghostly apparition. She had uncovered a mystery, brought justice to a lost soul, and found her own path in the process. The manor's gardens were in full bloom, the air filled with the scent of flowers and the sounds of laughter and joy. Families visited the museum, children played on the lawn, and the town's history was celebrated and cherished. Alice had found her calling. She became a historian and writer, dedicated to preserving and sharing the stories of the past. Her first book, The Ghost of Willow Manor, became a bestseller, capturing the hearts and imaginations of readers around the world. Through her work, Alice continued to inspire others to seek the truth, honor the past, and embrace the future. She knew that the legacy of Willow Manor would live on, a testament to the power of courage, determination, and the enduring spirit of justice. And so, the story of Willow Manor came full circle, a tale of mystery, discovery, and the unbreakable bond between the past and the present. Alice's journey had begun with a ghost, but it had led her to find her own voice and purpose, leaving a lasting impact on the world. The Ghost of Willow Manor was no longer just a whisper in the night. It was a story that would be told for generations to come, a reminder that the past is never truly gone and that the truth will always find a way to be heard.